Welcome to another edition of the Chin Check series. Today's episode, we're going to discuss the chin of Jaron Boots Ennis. So let's get into it, man. Let's talk about his record, man, real quick. Let's jump into Jaron Boots Ennis' record. So currently, Jaron Boots Ennis is at 28 wins, no losses. 26 of those wins by way of knockout. So he has an extremely high knockout ratio, one of the highest in boxing at the moment. So only 2 of his fights went to the cards out of 28 fights. 26 of those, he flatlined everybody. So let's get into his chin. You know, a lot of people like to say, Jaron Ennis, who has he fought? And, I'll be honest with you. I have to agree. He hasn't really fought top level competition during his career, but I always thought he was ready for the top comp early on when he was like 18, 19 and 0. When I was watching him, I always said he was ready back then. It's not his fault that he didn't get the top dudes yet, because like a lot of the top dudes was already tied up, or I think a lot of the times I wouldn't go as far as to say they were trying to purposely keep the top dudes from him. It might be the case, I don't know. But other things and other elements got in the way of a lot of things. For the most part, he had to work his way up because he's up there now. So he had to work his way up. It took him a little longer than average boxers and other boxers. And something, this is boxing, man. You gotta. I don't know if it's all about the promotion. That could be part of it, but you gotta ask yourself, how do fighters like Stanley Jonas get to skip ahead of Jaron Ennis with like 15 fights, and then this dude got like 29 fights, 28 fights, and he just now getting up in the upper echelon. It's crazy, but it is what it is, man. But his chin. Let's talk about some of his fights, man. I'm not gonna really go all the way back to 2016. That's when he started pro in 2016. So Jaron Ennis has been a pro for how many years now? 6 years? Going on 6 years, he's been pro. And he has knocked damn near everybody out. Only unanimous decisions he's had was Eddie Diaz back in 2016. And James Winchester in 2017. I think that's the only ones he had, yeah. But recently, he's fought Thomas Delorme last. He knocked him out early. I think it was the 4th round. Sergey Limpinets, he knocked him out. Chris Van Heerden, it was a no contest because the headbutt split open Chris Van Heerden's head, and Jaron Ennis couldn't continue to fight. And then he ended up beating Juan Carlos Abreu, knocked him out. Some dude named Bakhtiar Aibov, he knocked him out. That was in 2020. So Jaron Ennis has fought 3 times in 2020, 2 times in 2021. 2019, he fought twice. 2018, he fought 5 times in 2018. 2017, he fought 6 times. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yo, listen, man. Jaron Ennis fought 9 times in 2017, dude. 9 times. And then in 2016, check it out. He started boxing in 2016 as a pro. Look how many fights he had in 2016. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 fights in 2016. Let me tell you something, man. That is unheard of with today's boxers. If you go back and look at Errol Spence' resume, look at all these other cats when they first started. You show me how many of them fought in their first year 9 fucking times, 8 times. None of them. Hardly any boxers currently have done that. This dude is the goods, man. The problem I think is we haven't seen him in there with the super top dudes. He's getting good, like decent names just now. Like, okay, Sergey Limpinets is okay. Delorme is a skilled fighter, dude. You can't shit on Thomas Delorme. He's a good fighter. But I think those are the only real notable people that Jaron Ennis has really fought. Is really Chris Van Heerden and Carlos Abreu and Sergey Lipinets and Thomas Delorme. With the first two would be the least known. So he's only had really two decent, and then two others are like semi-decent. So it is time. It's time for him to step it up and get those fights. Bud, Errol, whatever. But I don't think those fights are gonna happen. At least not with Errol. Errol might end up going up. Bud might stick around a little bit. He might end up fighting Boots. I don't know. I think Bud's going to end up going to 154 as well. So Boots is probably not going to ever fight Errol or Bud. He's probably going to fight for vacant belts real soon. Another 2 years or so, maybe a year or so. But I've never seen Jaron Ennis physically hurt in a fight. I'm trying to think, has any of them really buzzed him? Yeah, he's been hit by Sergey Limpin. Yeah, I think that's the hardest puncher he's faced yet. I think was Sergey Limpin. Yes, he hit him. He hit him flush. I think it was a right a couple of times. He shook it off. I didn't see him hurt, wobbled, anything. It's too early to really tell how good Jaron in his chin really is. But after seeing him get hit by Sergey Lipinets, who was a pretty decent puncher, how many? Let's see. Let's look at Sergey's record. He's at 16 wins, 2 losses, 1 loss by knockout, which was Jaron Ennis, and 12 wins by way of knockout. So out of his 16 fights, you have 12 knockouts. That's high. When it comes to the amount of fights Sergey Lipinets has had, that is a high ratio of knockouts. 12 to 16, absolutely. So he has some decent power. But that is the only one that Jaron has faced that really is a real puncher like that. He hasn't faced Bud or Errol, or he hasn't faced Virgil Ortiz yet. I think he smokes Virgil Ortiz. Everybody else shares that same sentiment. But I think when it comes to Boots, when it comes to Errol and Bud, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure about him beating Bud. That's gonna be a good one. He might lose that one. But the Errol fight is a little bit more competitive, a little bit more closer. I think he probably could beat Errol if he goes in and focuses. He probably could beat Errol, but I don't think he could beat Bud though. And he's not yet. That fight could probably end in a draw. Him and Bud, more than likely. Who knows? But or Bud is gonna probably pull it off. But Jaron's chin, I would have to give his chin a B. I think he has a B class chin as of now. It might change later. But if, let's say, he got hit by Sergey and then he got knocked down, or you saw him noodled, and then I would have had to give him a C-class chin. I mean, necessarily, it's give or take. Even if that did happen, that doesn't necessarily mean he had a C-class chin. It just means he just got rocked that night, He just got rocked. But if he was got hit by Sergey and got flatlined, that's a C-level chin, bro. Absolutely. But he got hit and he took it, and he kept coming, and he ended up stopping him. So I have to give Jaron Boots Ennis a B class chin. I want to know what you guys think about that. This is Rebel Life. I'll catch y'all later on the next video. I'ma holla, and I'm out.